Hey everyone, my name is Max, welcome to my channel, Max Solo Music, and in this video I'll take a very detailed look at a guitar that may surprise you. Do not underestimate it. This is the Ibanez GRX40, one of those guitars from the Ibanez Geo series. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my Instagram yet, I'd really appreciate if you do. That's where you can find beautiful close-ups of guitars, quick shootouts and demos on many different things, as well as regular updates on what's going on here and what I'm currently working on. Alright, now back to the video. And as always, I'll be using my penalty point system, which means I'll be studying this guitar according to my checklist, and every time I will see a problem, the guitar will be getting a penalty point. The less points at the end of the video, the better. And let's begin with listening to what this guitar sounds like in the mix. I'm looking at the European version of Ibanez.com, and it looks like the GRX40 is the most basic Ibanez model at the moment. It is available in 4 colors, and my personal favorite is metallic light green. It also comes in black, blue and candy apple red. Here's a quick look at the specs, and yeah, this is a very basic guitar. As of today, which is March 1st, 2021, the price tag on this guitar at Thomann varies from $159 for the black one to $179 for the guitar in candy apple red. As always, I'll give you all the links below in the description, and please check them out even if you're not interested in this guitar, because every time those links are clicked, it brings some support to my channel. Thanks in advance. If you happen to be in the United States, I have sad news because this guitar doesn't seem to be available in the US. However, Thomann still ships to the US, and you also may want to check deals at Sweetwater, because from time to time they have great stuff at a discount rate. Again, link below. Sometimes just by looking at the box you can tell what's inside. And this box doesn't look like those standard or premium series Ibanez guitars come in. This guitar is made in China, and according to the sticker on the bottom of the box, this indeed is GRX40 in candy apple red. I wonder what 5N01 stands for though. Okay, very good, let's open the box and take a look at what's inside. A piece of foam protecting the pickup switch, that's a good sign. And the switch works, so apparently it did a good job. In the box we have a plastic bag with some accessories, a tremolo arm, a threaded tremolo arm to be exact, and 2 Allen wrenches. Other than that, there is a manual, which looks like a standard multilingual manual that comes with all Ibanez guitars. Yep, that's the one. You can tell by randomly mixed up Russian and Polish. And that's it. So let's unwrap the guitar, and it's time to take a closer look at it. Very good. Specs. According to the official website, the body of this guitar is made of poplar, but the finish is not transparent and unfortunately we won't be able to see the wood grain. The body looks a lot like a Strat, with a cutout for the right hand right here, and a belly cut on the back. The neck heel has a more rounded shape. It is a bolt-on guitar and it has a one-piece maple neck with a Hatoba fretboard. This tonewood has a slightly brighter color than rosewood or porphyro. This guitar has a standard scale of 25.5 inches, while it looks like a Strat for a reason. The fretboard radius is 12 inches. Here's the neck profile at the first fret, which looks very similar to Harley Benton Fusion 2 profile, maybe slightly thinner, definitely thicker than Wizard 3 or Wizard Ibanez necks, and very close to Fender Modern C. Now let's check the 12th fret. And again, it's very close to Harley Benton Fusion 2, slightly thinner again. Completely different to other Ibanez necks like Wizard 3 or Wizard. And very similar to Fender Modern C. This guitar comes with Infinity R humbucker in Infinity RS single coils. All three are passive pickups with ceramic magnets. The bridge is pretty traditional with 6 mounting screws. This is the Ibanez T106 model, with a thin sustain block that gets slightly wider where it touches the base plate. The tremolo arm is threaded, so it goes like this. Here we go. The guitar comes with a 242 set of strings. Very good, moving on to the headstock. The headstock says this guitar was made in China in 2019. Here we've got standard non-locking tuners. As always, you can adjust how tight they are using these screws here. The headstock is not angled, and therefore to keep the strings in place in the nut, there are 2 retainers. The specs don't say what kind of nut this is, but I assume it is plastic. Fast access to the truss rod adjustment. And here's what it looks like inside. The controls include a volume knob, a single tone knob, and a 5-way pickup switch. I'm not a big fan of strap buttons like this, I don't really trust them, but at least they have these black spacers between them and the body. The guitar has an output connector compatible with all straight and angled plugs, so even if you have something exotic like, let's say, Providence or a Lex cable with probably the smallest plugs in the world, it will still work without any problems. If you haven't checked these cables yet, do that, they're worth it. This is a high gloss finish, and it is of course candy apple red. The same on the back, there is still protective foil here on the cover. The neck is satin, and it's very smooth and fast. And here's a close-up of the fretboard, it doesn't seem to have any finish on it. The neck joint looks clean. The same on the other side, but you can see that the finish has already cracked right there in the corner. Other than that, I didn't find any issues with the finish worth a penalty point. For the price, it is a really well-made finish. This guitar has 22 frets, and according to the specs, these are medium frets. Well, let's check that out. Here's the width and the height. 2.7 by 115. According to the Hosco specs, this falls into the medium jumbo category, not medium. It also looks more like medium jumbo according to DHP specs, which means what we have here, the actual specs, do not match the official specs, and that's a penalty point. Here's a close-up of the fret edges, and you can see that it is really well done, even though there is a little bit of inconsistency here and there. But no sharp fret ends, so all good. Good. Let's check how many tools this guitar needs for a full setup. And from the usability perspective, it should not be more than 3, not counting the truss rod range. An Allen wrench to set the action, that's 1. A Phillips screwdriver to set the scale, adjust the tuners and the springs on the back of the guitar, that's 2. And that's it, which is good. And all required wrenches are included. Tuning stability. Well, quite frankly, this guitar does have problems with tuning stability. If only it had a fixed bridge, it could be much better, but it has a tremolo, a vintage-style tremolo with 6 screws to be exact, and on its own, it is quite unstable already. And even though strings go through the nut in a straight line, and there isn't much of an angle here, this is a plastic nut, and we have retainers here. These two things combined generate a significant amount of friction, and every time you use a tremolo, strings get stuck in the nut and here, and the tuning won't go back to where it's supposed to. There's a couple of things you could do to make it work better. You could try a lube for the nut and retainers to reduce friction, or you could just swap them to GrafTech. That would probably work even better. But as it is now, this guitar gets 2 penalty points, one for the nut and the other one for retainers, because these two things affect the tuning stability in a bad way. Let's check the weight of this guitar. I'm really curious about the numbers on the scale. 3.4 kilos, just like an average Strat. Or 7.5 pounds. The guitar is well balanced, it stays exactly where I want it, and it's not going anywhere. And the same in the sitting position. I put it here, and it stays in place. Let's open the guitar and check if it is shielded. At this price point, I don't think it is, but let's find out. Wow, I'm surprised. It is shielded, at least that's what it looks like. Okay, we have two 500K pots here, and the same kind of the pickup switch that you can find on premium series guitars. Okay, so what we have here is a real shielding. It is conductive, but at the same time it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if it's not connected to the common ground, which it isn't. Why bother shielding a guitar without making that shielding functional? I don't know, but there is one more thing that can be improved right away at no costs. Let's check all possible pickup combinations through the clean channel of Hughes&Kettner Black Spirit 200. The GRX40 looks a lot like a Strat, so let's compare it to one. This is my 1990 American Stratocaster Plus, and yeah, instead of humbucker, it has a single coil pickup in the bridge position, so keep that in mind. Very good. How about slightly more saturated tone through the crunch channel? And for high gain tone, I'll be using PV6505 Plus. As always, for all sound examples, I used my favorite impulse response, which is a 1x12 speaker cab with a vintage 30 speaker inside. If you like the sound, you can, and I believe you should, grab the whole impulse pack at my website, link below. Alright, let's test a couple of other things. Nobody likes crackling pots, right? So let's check how these two are gonna perform. That sounded clean, but did you notice how the tone knob didn't do much until the very end, where it kind of functioned as an on-off switch instead of adjusting the tone smoothly? That is because instead of a D-type pot, they've used something else, I'm guessing A-type, anyway, a wrong one. So here's a penalty point for that. Let's find out if this guitar has any noise that is not supposed to be there. Oh yeah, it does. That's much better, and the guitar gets 2 penalty points. 1 and 2. And if you want to learn more about better noise management, check my noise mechanics video. Okay, let's put it all together. Ibanez GRX40 has earned 6 penalty points. 1 for the specs that don't match the official specs, I mean the fret size, not a big deal really. 2 points for potential tuning problems, and just like many other guitars, 1 more point for the tone pot and 2 for the noise. 6 in total, which looks like an average amount for Strat type guitars. Nothing unexpected. Well, and that's it for now. Stay tuned for the part 2 of this video. Hey, you've reached the end of the video, and I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually want to get to know you guys, so before you go, please leave me a comment below. Just, say where you're from, what is your favorite guitar or guitar pedal, and how you came across my channel. If you want to support what I do, other than Patreon, there's another easy and free way to do that. Simply show this video to one of your guitar friends who it may be interesting to, and share it, the video, not a friend, in guitar groups and communities on social media. There's never too many views, and that would really help me a lot. And other than that, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video someday soon.